I didn't know who she was. I've never met her husband, but she was sure that I had taken him away. I was trying to prove my innocence, until one day I saw their photos and realized that I knew him. Very good. My name is Clara Thompson, and until 3 months ago, I lived a quiet, predictable life. I'm 38, a graphic designer, freelance. I like my books, my plants, the quiet hum of my apartment. I've never chased drama, never had time for it. But then came the message. It was 2:04 a.m. I woke up to the cold blue glow of my phone on the nightstand. A message from an unknown number. I hope you're proud. You ruined everything. He was all I had. I hope it haunts you. My heart skipped. Who? I stared at the screen, reading it again and again. The number was blocked. No name, no explanation, just pure venom. The next morning I tried to brush it off. Maybe it was spam, a mistake. But by lunchtime, another message. Funny how you act so innocent. You're nothing but a homewrecker. I sat frozen at my desk. Me? A homewrecker? I hadn't been in a relationship for almost 5 years, and the last serious one, God, that was over a decade ago, back when I was still naive enough to believe a charming smile didn't hide rot underneath. I tried to shake it off, but the texts kept coming. Do you sleep well, Clara? Knowing what you did? He cried the night he left. But I bet you didn't care. That night, I locked all the doors, checked every window, and left the hallway light on. I didn't tell anyone. Who would I even tell? It felt surreal, like I'd wandered into someone else's nightmare. But I started to notice things, little things. A car idling too long near my apartment. A voicemail of just breathing. A figure standing across the street as I walked home, gone when I looked back. It was getting under my skin. And then came the photo. It arrived in a plain envelope, no return address. I opened it standing in my kitchen, phone between shoulder and ear, waiting for a call from a client. But when I looked down, I froze. A photo of me and a man, smiling, in a bar, my hand on his knee. It took me a second, and then my stomach dropped. It was Eli, 12 years ago. I hadn't thought of him in so long. Tall, charismatic, a little too slick for his own good. We had a whirlwind romance that fizzled out in 3 months. He told me he was single, wasn't he? On the back of the photo, in thick black marker, someone had written, "This is where it started. This is where it ends." I dropped the photo. My breath came shallow. I sat on the floor for what felt like hours, replaying everything from those 3 chaotic months 12 years ago. The bar, the weekends away, the nights he never stayed over, the late calls he never answered. God, what if it wasn't a mistake? It was personal. Someone out there believed I had destroyed her life, and now she was coming for mine. I didn't recognize her, but she knew everything about me. I could barely speak. She said her name was Melissa Graham. She didn't wait to be invited in. She just stepped past me, dripping water on my rug, eyes scanning the apartment like it was something filthy. "I wanted to see it for myself," she said. "Where you live, what he chose." I stood there, frozen. "I think you're confused," I finally managed. She laughed. It was brittle, cold. Don't you dare play innocent." I closed the door slowly. My heart pounded in my ears. We sat across from each other. I made tea, because what else do you do when your past walks into your apartment like a ghost? She didn't touch hers. "You really don't remember, do you?" I said nothing. "You knew him as Eli Hart," she said. "But his name was Elijah Graham, my husband, the father of my children." My stomach turned. "And you," she said, voice trembling, "you were his little secret for 3 months, while I sat at home pregnant with our second son. I felt like I couldn't breathe. 12 years. It had been 12 years. I didn't know," I whispered. "I swear to you, I didn't know he was married." "Liar." She snapped it so fast I flinched. "I didn't," but she pulled something from her coat. A folder, photos, Screenshots, emails. She laid them out like weapons on the coffee table, messages I'd long forgotten. You make me feel like I can finally breathe again. This time I won't mess it up. Words I'd believed. Words I'd meant. I found them 2 years ago, Melissa said. Hidden in an old drive. I confronted him. He didn't deny it, just packed a bag and left. He left you? I asked, stunned. She nodded slowly. Me. The kids. Our life. She stared at me. I could see the fury behind her eyes. It wasn't just you, but you were the first. I don't know why, but something in me broke. Maybe guilt. Maybe the years of not knowing, of living in peace while someone else picked up the wreckage. I said quietly, if I had known, I would have never. I promise you. But it wasn't enough. You ruined my family, she whispered, and now I'm going to ruin yours. I looked up, stunned. But I don't have a family. I know, she said. That's what makes it so easy. And just like that, she stood and left. No threats, just a promise. The next day, my website was down. Client emails had vanished. My number was spam flagged. And on a local forum, there was a post, fake, but viral, calling me a serial affair seeker. Photos from years ago, a collage of lies. Melissa hadn't come to talk. She'd come to begin. I spent the next week buried in fear. Every time I left my apartment, I felt watched. Every time I checked my phone, I braced for the next message. The worst part wasn't the lies, it was the seed of doubt they planted. Was I really the first? Had I been just another affair to Eli? Had he laughed about me while lying in bed with his wife? And why? Why couldn't Melissa just let it go? Why now, after all these years? It wasn't over. She wasn't done. Because on the 7th day, I got a message that made my blood run cold. You're not the only one he lied to. We should talk. It was from a woman named Sasha Nielsen. At first, I ignored it. I thought maybe Melissa was setting me up, but something about the tone felt honest, tired, worn down. So I met her. Sasha was 29, soft-spoken, pale, eyes like she hadn't slept in months. She looked like someone trying to hold her life together with thread. He said he was divorced, she told me. Said it was messy, that he needed time. I closed my eyes. Same lies, same man. His name was Elijah? She nodded. I found out the truth after 5 months, when his actual wife showed up at my office. I blinked. Wait, not Melissa? No, Sasha said quietly. Her name was Nicole. My mouth went dry. There was another wife. He married her in Vegas. Quick ceremony. Said it was for legal reasons, something about taxes. But it was real, and she was pregnant. Oh my God. He played all of us, I whispered. Sasha nodded. There's more. She pulled out a folder. Just like Melissa. Inside, letters, emails, and a printed page from a Facebook support group. Women Lied to by Elijah Graham. Over a dozen women, some relationships, some flings, 2 engagements, 3 kids, all left with nothing. I sat there, stunned, as Sasha listed name after name. Melissa, Nicole, Rachel, Jess, Dana, and me. I wasn't the beginning. I was barely the middle. He used all of us, Sasha said. Made us feel special, made us believe. Then he vanished, or worse, left us in ruin. I didn't speak for a long time, and then I said, he broke her family. And now she's trying to break mine. Sasha nodded slowly. Melissa wants blood. She doesn't care who gets caught in the fire. That night, I couldn't sleep. I walked my apartment in circles, looking out windows, checking my locks, wondering how much of my life was still mine. Melissa had hacked my phone, posted about me online, destroyed contracts I'd spent years building. But now I understood something terrifying. She didn't want justice. She wanted me to become her, alone, angry, hollowed out by grief. But I wasn't her. I still had something she didn't, the truth. And now I was ready to use it. I was done hiding, done playing defense while strangers threw knives in the dark. If Melissa wanted a villain, I would give her something worse. The truth. Cold. Documented. Unforgiving. But I couldn't do it alone. I reached out to Sasha again. She connected me with the others. We created a group chat, silent at first, just watching each other's names appear on the screen like a roll call of the wounded. One by one, the stories came in. Each woman told hers, some with tears, some with rage, some numb, but all with one thing in common. He lied, he used, he vanished. Elijah Graham, or Eli Hart, or Michael Ellis, he used aliases, had been playing this game for over a decade. Fake business ventures, fake separations. Sometimes he borrowed money, other times he just borrowed their trust and burned it to the ground. And Melissa? She wasn't looking for justice. She wanted revenge, but had chosen the wrong target. So I gave her one she couldn't ignore. I messaged her, just one line. You want closure? I have it. Meet me tomorrow. Café Rue, noon. No reply, but she showed up. She walked in with her chin high, her coat clinging to her shoulders like armor. I was already seated, a folder resting between my hands. She sat opposite me. No greeting, just, what is this? I slid the folder across the table. Inside, documentation, photos, messages, testimonies, a full timeline, 12 women, 12 lies, one predator. Melissa's eyes scanned the pages. Her hands began to shake. You said I ruined your marriage, I said softly, but he was never yours to begin with. She looked up, and for the first time, I saw something other than rage in her eyes. I saw doubt, pain, a crack in her wall. He's in Seattle now, I told her, using the name Alan Cross. I have proof. He's living with another woman. She thinks he's a software consultant. She's pregnant. Melissa covered her mouth. It hit her then. She hadn't been the wife. She'd just been another chapter, just like the rest of us. And in that moment, she broke. Tears spilled silently, not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet, shattering grief that softened something inside me. Why are you helping me? She whispered. I looked her in the eyes. Because I know what it's like to lose yourself in someone else's lies. But I won't lose again. That night, we made a plan. Together. Not as enemies, but as the two women he underestimated the most. Melissa agreed to be the one to reach out. She still had his number. Of course she did. She'd never deleted it. And he responded, of course he did. Predators always return to old paths, especially when they think they still have power. We recorded everything. Melissa set the bait. A message about missing him, about needing to talk, about forgiveness. He bit, and he agreed to meet her. But when he showed up, she wasn't alone. Neither was I. He didn't speak at first, didn't even sit down. He just stood there, frozen like a man staring at his own grave. Melissa was the first to speak. Have a seat, Eli. Her voice was calm, controlled, almost kind. He hesitated, then slowly pulled out a chair. Not next to her, across, as far away as he could manage without fleeing. You remember me, don't you? She asked. He nodded. Of course he did. She looked around the table. Sasha, Nicole, Clara, Dana, Rachel, Jess. Say hello, Eli. No response. I leaned forward. You told me you were single, I said quietly. You told her, I pointed to Nicole, that you were just working late. He finally opened his mouth. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. A low laugh rippled around the table. You never do you? Sasha said. He turned to me. Clara, I'm sorry. You were... Don't, I cut him off. Don't pretend I was special. I was a placeholder. His face twitched. You think we just wanted an apology? Melissa said. You think we gathered here to heal? He looked around again, nervous now, sweating. That's when I pulled out my phone. I've been recording this since you walked in, I said. And guess what? You're already live. He lurched forward, tried to grab the phone. Melissa was faster. She slammed her hand on the table. Sit. Down. He did. And that's when the second phone came out, then a third, and a fourth. 12 women, 12 recordings, streaming, uploading, sending. We didn't need to scream. We didn't need to threaten. The truth was loud enough. Within hours, our story was on every platform. We didn't just tell it, we showed it. Every screenshot, every voice message, every receipt. We contacted the women he was still involved with. Some already suspected. Others were blindsided. But we gave them the choice he never gave us, the choice to walk away before he ruined them too. Days passed. He tried to disappear again, new name, new location. But it was too late. His face was out there now. We had made sure of that. Melissa and I, we didn't become friends, but we became something else. Survivors. And for the first time, I slept peacefully. No locked doors, no anonymous threats, just silence and healing. I used to think revenge meant destruction, burning someone down, making them suffer. But sometimes, revenge is simply this, making sure they can't hurt anyone else ever again. I didn't sleep the night before, not because of fear, not even because of anger, but because my brain wouldn't shut off. The memories, the messages, the faces, his voice, her threats, the silence that followed all of it. I sat at the edge of my bed, watching the sun crawl up the wall, piece by piece, like it was unsure if it should show its face. 12 years ago, I believed in someone. 12 years ago, he told me I was his future. 12 years ago, I didn't know I was someone's enemy, someone's sin. And now here I was, invited to a meeting I didn't ask for, to defend myself for something I didn't do. Again. But I was done hiding, done apologizing for someone else's lie. The building was colder than I expected. White walls, sterile lights, like a clinic or a courtroom. I stepped into the room and felt it immediately. The shift in air. The way people glance at you but pretend they're not. The way silence folds in on itself. The weight of expectation, of judgment. Melissa was already there, dressed in something black and expensive looking, as if grief had a brand label. Her legs crossed, her nails clicking against the table. She didn't even look at me when I entered. He sat across from her. David, the man who said he loved me, the man who kissed my forehead like I was precious. Now he was just small, smaller than I remembered, and tired. He looked at me for a split second, just enough for guilt to flicker, then disappear like it never existed. Typical. The moderator welcomed me, a neutral tone, but I saw his eyes, curious, suspicious. That's the thing about being the accused. Even when you're innocent, people want the story where you're guilty. Melissa stood up before anyone could speak. She shouldn't be here, she said, cutting the air like a knife. This was supposed to be a private matter between family. I took one step forward, just one. Not aggressive, just enough. I'll only speak once, I said calmly, and then I'll leave. But you need to hear it. All of you. Melissa started to interrupt, but something about my tone stopped her. I wasn't here to argue. I was here to end it. When I met David, I began, he told me he wasn't seeing anyone. He said he had a messy breakup a year ago and was still healing. He said I made him feel alive again, that he wasn't ready at first, but that I changed that. My voice didn't shake. I surprised even myself. For almost a year I believed him. I had no reason not to. We had weekends away, little rituals. I made him coffee every Sunday. I knew his favorite band, the book that made him cry. I thought I was building something real. Melissa rolled her eyes, but her lawyer was listening now, closely. And then one day, I continued, he disappeared. Just stopped answering. No closure, no goodbye. It nearly broke me, but I moved on. I mourned a man who was never mine, and I put it behind me. I paused. Let that sit. I never knew he had a wife. I never knew it was you, Melissa, until 12 years later, when I started getting emails, threats, anonymous posts calling me a homewrecker, until someone sent me your wedding photo, And that's when I realized who you were and who he was. The room was heavy, like the air had thickened. I pulled out the folder I brought, set it down, let it slide across the table to the moderator. Inside are all the emails he sent me, the texts, the photos, with timestamps, dated, backed up, and legally retrieved. You'll see that when we met, he was lying to me, to both of us. Melissa stared at the folder, like it might bite her. She didn't touch it, but her lawyer did. He flipped it open, scanned, his brow furrowed. David didn't move, didn't speak, didn't even blink. I turned to him now. "Do you have anything to say?" I asked. "Nothing, of course." "I didn't come here to destroy anyone," I said, looking around. "But I won't be your scapegoat. I won't carry your shame, Melissa. Or yours, David. I was lied to. Just like you." I turned to the moderator. "And for the record, I didn't come for apologies. I came for the truth to have a voice. Mine." I picked up my bag, looked Melissa in the eye. "You wanted to break me," I said, "but you were aiming at the wrong woman." And then I walked out. I didn't cry in the elevator. I didn't scream in the parking lot. I sat in my car and exhaled like I'd been holding my breath for 12 years. That was the thing about truth. It didn't always roar. Sometimes it whispered, but it always landed. Let them sit with it now. Let her read every line in that folder and realize that while she was blaming me, the man she defended was betraying them both. Let them unravel. Let the masks crack in silence. As for me, I finally chose peace. But if anyone ever tries to take it from me again, I won't just protect myself. I'll burn everything they built on lies.